Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, issue 4, James Tynion the fourth, and Steve Epting on art. This is
just Steve Epting this time.
Just Steve Epting this time, yes. So obviously we kind of knew getting into this that it was probably going to be the lead into death metal, given everything it's doing.
Yeah, but it doesn't, like, I don't know. As someone that got real excited for the last one where we saw the team come together, and then that's it.
Yeah,
it still manages to be underwhelming.
I think it's I think it's underwhelming because this issue does two big things. It fixes all the heroes that were infected in a very kind of quick way, and then it very quickly puts Lex back to normal and has Batman Who Laughs team up with Perpetua. And now Perpetua's get rid of Lex, she doesn't want him anymore because Batman Who Laughs is like, no, I actually can do this. I can help you, dominate in a way that Lex couldn't.
We all know that he wants to bring the Dark Multiverse up front, right? So I don't think Perpetua cares about which multiverse it is, which, it's fine. But yeah, like, underwhelming to say the least, just because I was looking forward to, or even maybe the Dark Multiverse stuff in Death Metal. I was hoping that all those, Dark Multiverse specials we read would pay off a little bit here. Right? We'd get some of those characters, or
it may be well in Death Metal. Maybe they're going to pop up then. I mean, it very well possibly could. Because the reason why Batman Who Laughs kind of convinces her is that he knows a little about what happened to the Justice League, that they've all went off into some sort of weird, portal to try and fight her, and he actually has a chance of winning and fighting back, whereas Lex doesn't. So that is basically the point that we kind of end on.
I really like how Epting draws Perpetua, with the way
that's fair.
Her dress / body kind of just becomes the universe.
Everything, yeah. She seems otherworldly, like she is not of this existence.
Yeah.
So cool.
The biggest condemnation I have for this book as a whole, this 4-issue series, is that I honestly feel like we could have just not infected anyone, right, and just had a one-shot explaining how Batman Who Laughs convinces Perpetua that he's the man for the job, because that last page, like, I know what they want from that. The image of Perpetua laughing with the Batman Who Laughs, like now she's laughing like she's a Joker. Like, I get what they're going for there, where they want this, like, oh, that's chilling because like now she's like aligned with the darkest possible threat. But all I could think was is that, I mean, this solved all the other things, and I'm like, what did we really get out of like all these dark versions of characters that was set up?
You've got a bunch of shitty one shots.
Well. So now the Supergirl series has been pretty good with
and
her.
Hawkman, to be fair.
And Hawkman.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean,
the rest of it's all for nothing. And
besides, do we not trust the fact that those books would have been good anyway? Like, they didn't need to have the infected characters to.
Hawkman definitely would have been great either way.
Yeah.
So the whole thing feels like a weird side story in the run up to Death Metal that feels like it's mostly irrelevant. The only important thing is that Batman Who Laughs has superseded Lex, and Lex is back to normal. And if I was going to give the issue credit, though, I will say Lex's speech to Mercy about you have no idea what it's like to become the pinnacle of man but still fall short of the gods that are around us. Like, that was the closest I've came to kind of liking, like, his character.
And the whole Lextopia, right? That all being a lie by Perpetua to get him to do all this, because it's the future, it hasn't happened yet. You can't make that happen.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever a fan of Lextopia, so I'm glad that was all bullshit.
Oh no, see, I liked because he's such a megalomaniac. Of course, his driving force to do all that would have been, I'm right. So this is why I'm going to go do all this.
The way it worked on him was good.
Yeah. So I liked all that. If anything, this story has made me like Mercy Graves a whole lot. Is it Mercy Graves? Mercy, whatever her name. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Man, I have so many names in my brain. This is tough sometimes.
There's no other Mercy I can think of, so yeah, Mercy Graves.
Okay. I like Mercy a whole lot.
You're making me like really question it now. I'm like, yeah, but I'm sure it is.
Because it was Tess Mercer, right, on Smallville.
Yes.
Right, so there's, Anyways, I really like Tynion's, which shouldn't come as a surprise because he does this a lot with side characters. So if she's gonna be more, working with Lex going forward, and she's almost like a dark Jimmy Olsen, right? I kind of like that.
Yeah. I really like what it does on the layout with the last page, the epilogue page with Lex landing in the crater. And I like the layout and just the top part of that, the corners cut off, making it shaped kind of like the S logo, the shield, and just kind of giving this parallel between Lex and Superman again. And that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately this just feels like it's like it was nothing more than a stepping stone that feels mostly unnecessary.
I'm gonna go one step further. It feels like they wanted to kill time between this and Death Metal. They wanted to have something being published between them, and they went, "Oh, this will do us for a few weeks," and that's about it. And I don't even hate it. I think if you read, come the final, a bit of Death Metal when the whole run's wrapped up, and you throw this all in like a couple of omnibuses or whatever, I think it'll read fine. Well, I think it'll be a fine just a quick little diversion before you get into the final bit. But right now, it feels like they're publishing it just to have something being published rather than
something they can deem as part of the ongoing mainline event that's coming up. Like, and it's frustrating because ultimately I finished this and went, this entire miniseries hasn't been terrible, but it's just kind of felt mostly worthless, and it's frustrating. I just, it's hard to get excited about, and I think I like the cliffhanger of the last ending as well, thinking, oh, maybe this is leading to something. And I even like the idea of Lex coming up with a way to free everyone, because it's this sort of murkiness of him being the one who saves all the heroes. But
there's a nice point as well when all the heroes are like, get them both, and Marcy's like, what? Lex just saved all of you ungrateful pricks.
Yeah, but he's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He also led to the Justice League being eradicated.
Look, I'm not saying he's squeaky clean. I'm just saying, in the moment, focus on maybe the Batman Who Laughs. Priorities.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, it's again, it's a fine read for the most part.
Yes.
It's really frustrating because I think the only reason it's as fine as it is really is the fact that you have a really good team working on it between Tynan and Epting. I think I can see this in lesser hands being borderline unreadable.
Yeah, well, I guess the problem is that it's not a story on its own. It feels like it exists between two other ideas, and I don't believe that Tynan came up with a great idea. I can do a book about this. No. He was given where the story needed to end. He was told that this is what's leading into it, and you have to make all these pieces fit.
Yeah, and I don't really blame him. I think this is part of his job. Obviously, it's like, hey, we want you to do this for us, and he's gone, okay, fine, I'll do it. He's done the best he can. It's not bad. I think that's the key thing here. It is never a bad thing to read, and I say in lesser hands, this could be very easily. It's just not exciting at all.
Yeah. Oh well, that sums it up basically. Matt, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give this a 7.
Connor?
It's another 6 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say with Connor on this one. I'll go with 6
All right.
out of 10. Yeah, I can't be too enthusiastic about it, even though there's a couple of moments that I kind of like. For the most part, I just felt like, okay, that was a miniseries, I guess.